Alright, chapter 10, I believe it is. What are we on? We're on 1018. So the Association of American Railroads specified this requirement in that a minimum braking ratio of 11% must be achieved at the brake shoes with specified force output of the handbrake equivalent to 125 pounds on the rim of the wheel. Further, handbrakes must act on one half of the axles, including B end of the truck. This requirement cannot be with a single handbrake. A second handbrake must be applied on appropriate stenciling at each handbrake location. Once some of the articulated multiple platform cars, it's not feasible to apply the handbrake force to half the axles with one handbrake, and the second handbrake has been applied at the opposite end, the A end of the car. The FRA takes no inspections, no exceptions to this practice if following conditions are met. Stencils must be placed in adjacent with each of the handbrake, advising the car is equipped with two handbrakes. Each handbrake shall be located that it can be safely operated while the car is in motion, and the handbrake force should comply with the AAR standards. Motor power and equipment 9835. Multiple unit articulated flat cars, crossover platforms, trailer train companies or TTAX. 5-unit all-purpose spine cars are equipped with handbrakes and face outward at each end of the 5-unit consists. The handbrake arrangement designed so that it can be operated while standing on a sill step or from the ground. When 48-foot containers is placed on the A end of the unit and the crossover platform is partially covered with the container has only 10 inches exposed, the crossover platform on the train trailer companies cars, platforms, extensions of the multiple unit articulated flat cars are not a requirement of the current safety appliance standards. Additionally, they are not used for proper operation of the handbrakes. Therefore, the FRA will take no exceptions to use the trailer tractor company's 5-unit all-purpose spine cars when loaded on an A and B unit with 48-foot containers are partially covered over the end of the crossover platform. However, the FRA requires safety appliance support. Safety appliances be mechanically fastened, brackets implied with the car structure other than tank car solely for the securement of safety appliances mechanically fastened to the car structure. Motor power and equipment E98.5. Standard level and low level auto racks. Some origination radial door inlets as an application of the auto rack cars. Many clearance problems have been developed because of the nature of these problems, the vertical relationship of the side ladder sill steps, and have been altered in such a manner that there are variations. Misalignment for 5 to 13 inches. The Federal Railroad Administration feels that this has created a potential hazard and the FRA does not need to establish guidelines implementing improvement in this area. The FRA needs to establish guidelines and implement improvement in this area. The FRA and car manufacturers determine whether the following dimensions are adopted. Standard level cars are all level, low level cars built from 1978 prior to built of after 1978. The relationship to all level cars is 2 3/16 of an inch maximum sill step and side ladder, while built in 1978 low level cars 5-inch maximum, after 1978 4-inch maximum. Flat cars, motor and power equipment 9816, Department of Defense X 40,000 series flat cars. In the past, inspectors questioned the DODX 4000 series of the flat cars in compliance with the Title 49 CFR 231.6A31, which requires that each handbrake shall be located and can be safely operated while the car is in motion. These cars are designated to have 2.5 by 8-inch slot with the car flat or near each of the corners. The slots are considered by FRA as a grab hold, so the handbrake can be safely operated using the grab hold while the car is in motion. These cars were built primarily to haul M1 tanks, which are 15 feet 12 feet wide. The car to the floor is 10 feet by 8 inches wide. The handbrake is located so that the tank can be loaded and unloaded. Also, that it had been reported that these cars have a missing bottom rod safety support. These cars are equipped with the Buckeye 6-wheel trucks mounted brakes. Because of the truck mounted brakes, bottom of the rod requires the safety support and are found on the hand of the brake. The two bottom rods are one is equipped with the two safety supports, while the other one has only one. The truck is designated last bracket and other location to which an effective force Safety support can be attached to the brake rod, and the question measures 35 inches from between the pivot, and loss of the connection between pin and unsupported end of the rod would cause the drop of 1/2 inch over the distance of 7 inches because of the encounter and existing safety support. The minimum clearance above the rail would be still more than 2.5 inches. Inspectors should take no exemption to the cars so equipped. Motor Power and Equipment 9869, Safety Appliance Arrangement of Flat Cars. Statute 231.6 specifies the minimum requirement safety appliance on a flat car. However, the yards of the arrangement have been agreed upon without being incorporated in the standards. There are new reassigned employees as well as new car builders may not be aware of the agreements. One revised arrangement of the horizontal side handholds occurred with the trailer trailing company decided to eliminate vertical handhold on the long bridge plates. The side handhold arrangements follows side handholds. Side handholds dimension same as specified on the flat card, except the long length not less than 18 inches of the diameter, not less than 1 inch when the legs are extra long. Manner of application same as specified with the boxes of other house cars. Location one over every sill step on the top of the rub rail, projecting upward not less than 27 nor more than 34 inches above the tread of the sill step. Clearance in the outer end of the may not be more than 8 inches for the end of the car. All other safety appliances piggyback cars should conform with these specified flat cars. In addition, with the handholds provided with the facilities using handbrakes, including handholds on the stub of the bridge plate, should be retained. Any flat car that has a low-mounted side handbrake should be equipped with the second handhold, the handbrake corner of 15 to 16 inches above the handhold as described previously. The tread of the sill at the location should be widened, not to less than 4 inches, but be provided then an anti-skid surface. When possible, the length of such a sill should be increased to be not less than 14 inches. The additional handhold wider and sill steps to facilitate the use of low-mounted side hand brake was agreed upon because of the requirement in 231.6A31. Each handbrake shall be located that it can be safely operated while the car is in motion. The inspector should be familiar with these arrangements. Motor Power and Equipment Safety Appliance Arrangements on flat cars with low-mounted side hand brakes. Section 231.6 specifies minimum requirement safety appliance for flat cars. However, over the years, the alternative safety appliance arrangements have been used for the industry and permitted with the FRA in order to accommodate the unique design of various flat cars. This is particularly true with regard to flat cars equipped with low-mounted side hand brakes. The FRA previously issued guidelines related to these top of the flat cars and the technical bulletin, Motor Power and Equipment 9869. The bulletin is intended to supplement the previous provided guidance. Section 231.6A1. Section 231.6A31 requires each handbrake shall be located that it can be safely operated while the car is in motion. The FRA consistently viewed the compliance with these provisions as dependent on whether the safe operation is possible given to the intended location of the handbrake in relation to other safety appliances necessary for the safe operation. As a result, merely providing with the handholds explicitly required in Statute 231.6 does not guarantee that the handbrake can be safely operated. For example, the flat cars with low-mounted side handbrakes may need to be equipped with additional safety appliances over and above the specifically required 231.6 in order for the handbrake to be safely operated while the car is in motion. Technical Bulletin and Motor Power and Equipment 9869 incorporates the guidelines contained with the previous FRA technical bulletins dating back to the mid-1970s, containing guidance regarding one safety appliance arrangement that was applicable for the FRA on the flat cars equipped with low-mounted side handbrakes to ensure compliance with the requirement contained in Statute 231.6A31. In the technical bulletin, the FRA made it clear that it would be not to take exceptions to such flat car if they were equipped with the second handhold at the handbrake corner of 15-16 inches above the handhold located over each of the sill steps. The tread of the sill step location was widened and not less than 4 inches and was provided with an anti-skid surface. 2. When possible, the length of such a sill step was increased not to less than 14 inches. Such guidance would not impose new requirements provided by the industry with currently about to comply with the existing requirements in Statute 231.6A31. Recently, the FRA has discovered the safety appliance arrangement in numerous flat cars with low-mounted side handbrakes being modified to eliminate the second handhold described above. The handhold is being removed due to constant damage being sustained by the appellants during loading and unloading of the flat cars. In order to prevent the continuous damage, the necessary application to ensure the safety of employees while the applying of the handbrake on these flat cars, the FRA believes the additional guidance is needed to provide an alternative safety appliance arrangement described in Technical Bulletin Motor Power Equipment 9869. Consequently, in addition to the safety appliance arrangements described in the FRA will not be taken exemption to the safety appliance arrangements on any flat car equipped with a low-mounted side handbrake if, 1, the flat car is equipped with a second handhold on the handbrake corner mounted on each end of the sill not more than 12 inches from the end of the car so it aligns with the outer edge of the sill step and not less than 2 inches more than 6 inches from the side of the car. 2, the handhold is a minimum of 18 inches in width and is not less than 15 inches, not more than 21 inches in height. The tread of the sill step at the location is widened and not less than 4 inches, provided with the anti-skid surface width. 4, when possible, the length such as the sill steps increase to not less than 14 inches. As noted in guidance contained in Technical Bulletin Motor and Power Equipment 9869 remains in effect with the present guidance merely provided with an additional safety and appliance arrangement to the FRA will not take an exemption, although the Technical Bulletin recognizes 2 safety appliance arrangements that are acceptable to the FRA meeting with the requirements contained within Statute 231-6A31. With regard to flat cars and low-mounted side handbrakes, there may be other safety appliance arrangements that would also be ensured compliance with the requirements of such flat cars. However, merely removing the handhold from guidance of the Technical Bulletin Motor and Power 9869 will likely result in a car that does not comply with Statute 231-6A31. Covered hopper cars, Motor and Power Equipment 9823, covered hopper cars, running board extension. There have been several inquiries concerning running board extension of the FRA position is the running board and the extension is not required at the end of the longitude running board at least 6 inches from the vertical plane. Longitude running board extends at least the entire length of the roof. In other words, the longitude of the roofing running board does not extend at least to the entire length of the roof. The running board extension is required. The roof of the half walkway blockage. The FRA does not believe open hatch covers on top of the cars to be a significantly safety issue due to the prohibition of individuals on the top of the cars. The ease of with the obstruction can be rectified with the inspector finds a significant number of instances on the open hatch cars that the inspector should contact the regional specialist or headquarters prior to issuing the violation. Alright, cars of special construction, Motor Power and Equipment 9817, bulkhead flat cars. Although safety appliances do not specifically address bulkhead flat cars, these cars will be considered a special car of special construction, Section 231-18. The states with the cars of special construction must have nearly a possible same complemented with the handhold sill steps, ladders, and handbrakes running boards that are required with cars of the nearest approximate type. FRA's opinion with the car would be fixed engines with the above the most closely resemble the cars described in Statute 231-27 boxes, other house cars without roof hatches placed in service after October 1st, 1966. Their full bulkhead flat cars placed in service on October 1st, 1966 should comply as nearly possible with the requirements section. Motor Power and Equipment 9819 differential of 100-ton covered hopper cars built for the Thrall Collar Manufacturing Company. On pressure differential, 100-ton covered hopper car built with the Thrall Collar Manufacturing Company end plate platform handholds are less than 6 inches long, and because of structural consideration, structural justification for the design is to place the support of the flat end sheet in this location while preventing overstressing the sheet with the car is pressurized. A letter we sent with the Thrall Car Manufacturing Company, General Electric, and Rail Car Services with the following information. Concerning the safety compliance ranging differential of 100-ton covered hopper cars, specifically end part platforms, horizontal end platform handholds having given length of less than 60 inches. Please advise that due to the structural design of these cars, the FRA will not take exemption from the end of the platform, horizontal end platform handholds, and have length less than 60 inches. The FRA will consider the cars to be special construction conforming with the requirements specified in Section Statute 231-18. Coil steel cars. Over the past several years, numerous concerns have been regarded with the classification of the coil steel cars safety appliance standards, compliance with Title 49 CFR Part 231, because coil steel cars do not conform to any of any other cars specifically identified in Stat Part 231 that cars must be considered cars of special construction pursuant to Title 49 CFR 213 through 3118, which states cars of construction not covered specifically in the foreign section in this part relieve the handholds and sill steps, ladders, handbrakes, and running boards may be considered a special construction, but shall have nearly possible such complementing with the handholds, sill steps, ladders, handbrakes, and running boards are required for the car for the nearest approximate type. Historically, the determination of what type of specifically identified with the Part 231 is nearest approximate type of the coil steel car with differed depending on the manufacturer railroad. The FRA personally involved with making the decision for the most part of differing reviews resulting from reality of the coil steel cars are not designed to manufacture in any identical fashion. Thus, although the type of the car is universally referred to as a coil steel car, the car's unique design was constructed different depending on the manufacturer of the car and or the date that the car was built. The variation was in the design with the construction of a coil steel car had resulted in a number of different interpretations relating to the constitute to the car of the nearest approximate type under Statute 231.18. Today, the FRA has generally determined the nearest approximate type of the car specifically identified in Part 231, the coil steel car, and either the flat car or lower-sided gondola. See Title 49 CFR 231.6 and 231.5. The FRA considers either of these applications to be appropriate, acceptable. Thus, the coil steel cars confirm the requirements related to each of the above noted in the car type. If there is no exemption, it should be taken. When inspecting coil steel cars, the FRA inspector must be determining what constitutes the nearest approximate type of the cars under the Part 231 and previous to the FRA sample car inspection if one was performed upon the historical application of regulations to a particular car. Furthermore, historically, the FRA has not taken exemptions to the cover of the coil steel cars at the top of the location fastened handholds, railings, or coverings that are mixed with a different car than originally designed, except if it covered handhold railing does not proper clearance, if it's broken or included as part of the handbrake arrangement to support operation of the handbrake while the car is in motion. Alright, in a situation where the FRA inspector cannot be determined nearest the approximate type of the car, the following procedure shall be applied. The inspector should request the operating railroad for the letter issued in the FRA relating to the sample car inspection performed in the series of the car, indicating with the sample car inspection car type, determine the FRA headquarters. If the car conforms to the requirements related with the car type indicated with the sample car inspection, then no exception should be taken. If operating railroad produced with the above described document of sample car inspection would not be performed, the nearest approximate type of the car will be determined by the FRA inspector with the document and all non-complying conditions with the FRA Form 6184A, including photos. The FRA inspector should request the UMLR and the Association of American Railroads report that indicates that the car type is determined by the Industry of Operating Railroads. The above noted information should be sent to the regional motor power and equipment specialists, who then submit all the above information to headquarters with request for the guidance. Tanker car applications and guidance, motor power equipment 9831, safety check, and tank cars, operating platforms, tank cars without underframes addressed in Statute 231 through 21J3, which states the location of open platform is to be sufficient length, provided with the access to operating fittings, the ladder to be located on the side of the car at the center. The safety railing should enclose the operating platform. Manway fittings used to load and unload tank railing shall be open only to ladders where it shall extend the vertical direction down to the securely attached to the platform. Maximum width of only open is 24 inches. Additionally, there are tank cars constructed with the top operation platforms with the end of the ladders at each end of the tank car rather than the side ladder. And in accordance with Statute 231.18, the cars of special construction, therefore, openings in the operating platform allowing access to ladders do not require safety railing, safety chain enclosures, although the openings of the opening platform require enclosure. See Figure 7.8 shows the ladder in the middle of the sentence and the top of the car, safety railing section missing, and then the top ladder on the top of the car with the safety railing section missing, and it goes around the dome. Figure 8 is compliant rail. These are non-compliances with the tanker car railing. Compliant railing on the tank car operating platform. A ladder with the safety railing complete. A ladder with the top of the cars with safety railing complete. Motor Power and Equipment 00606. Manufacturing, repairing, operation platform, or opening platform safety railing on the top of the car without underframe. Section 231.21J specifies minimum requirements of operating platform tank cars without underframes. However, many of the variation manufacturers repair these platforms. Platform safety railings have been used in a number of the years, causing the confusion with the FRA inspector manufacturers as to which methods comply with the federal regulations. In order to establish consistency within the industry, the FRA has hosted a committee with a compromise representative of the FRA, the Association of American Railroad, the Railway Progress Institute, several major tank car manufacturers based on the information provided with the committee meetings of the FRA prior. Enforcement requirements pertaining operating platforms on the tank cars. These technical bulletins is attached provided with the guidance regarding with the various methods, manufactured repair of the operating platform safety railings on these tanker cars that are acceptable to the FRA. Section 231.21J requires that the operating platforms related to the safety railings on the tanker car without underframe to be securely attached and securely fastened. The FRA has been long-standing interpretation of these phases, which requires a safety appliance with mechanically fastened seat and motor power and equipment technical bulletin 9814. However, the FRA believes the necessary consistency with the law, safety, and the FRA previous enforcement in Part 231 exercise the enforcement discretion continue to allow weldment to consider certain modifications of safety appliances for the operating platforms. Tanker cars have been manufactured in numerous years with operating platforms with the handrails welded to stanchion cars welded to the car body brackets. Tanker cars built with operated with decay without creating any of the known safety hazards. Thus, the FRA will not take an exemption to the existing equipment. Will these type of safety appliance arrangements will require mechanical attachment of the safety appliance on the tanker cars operating platforms built after January 1st, 2000, which repairs required on the equipment built prior to the date. See Exhibit G for the figures 17 and 18. Similarly, the FRA has allowed safety railings on operating platforms to be required with the use of weldment under certain controlled conditions. The guidance contained with the bulletin materially acknowledgement of the repair fabrication requirements of safety railing operating platforms that are consistent with existing practices to which the FRA has not exemption to the past. The FRA believes the fabrication repair requirements related to handrails contained with the Exhibit A and Figure 5 and 5F Figure 1316 does not result in the reduction in structural integrity of the railings. Furthermore, the weldment is permitted with the intermediate points of the railing. The railing is mechanically fastened at the end of the location attached with the operating platform in the stanchion. FRA will exercise enforcement discretion, not exemption of the factory weldment of the safety appliance brackets and the intermediate location of the grading operating platform. See Exhibit A and D, Figure 7 and 9. There's several reasons for these exercise discretion. Gratings used on operating platforms have been manufactured for the year with these intermediate brackets being directly welded to the gratings. The FRA is not aware of many of the safety hazards arising in the design. Furthermore, due to the high quality of the factory welds, mechanical fastener would add in little or no structural strength to the attachment. In addition, with the type of the welding will be permitted only in the immediate brackets where less than use of the place to be attached. The platform attachments to end of support will be required to mechanically fasten. See Exhibits A and C for Figure 6 and A. Move over the only field repair with the permitted with the intermediate brackets will replace the grating assembly with the A factory member assembly application mechanical factors. See Exhibit A and D. Figures 7 and 9. The guidance contained with the bulletin applies to the operating platforms tank cars when the underframe is not intended to apply with safety appliance at any other location on the cars. See Exhibits A through I. Alright, your Exhibit A is your tanker car. Figures 9 and 10, 11, figures 13 and 14, figures 5 and 6, figures 7 and 11, figures 5 and 15 and 16, and figures 1 through 4 and 18. Your stanchion on the railway operating options. You have a fillet weld around a bar with a double fillet weld and a contour around a contour finger fastened single clip. This is a double clip which goes on the double side of it, a fillet and a box weld, I guess. Box weld around a wraparound Figure 3. and are fastened with a bolt. Welding in addition to mechanical fasteners acceptable. Option industry, additional thread fasteners are acceptable. Exhibit C is a typical grading assembly of the welding. This shows fillet welds and the option of a parallel flush double flat weld. Typical platform attachment, fillet weld, bolts. Factory welds, mechanical factors, acceptable securement with these location field requirements, mechanical fastener factories made assembly. Note number 3, field welding acceptable at these locations. More grading intermediate locations. Grading optional from parallel flush weld, 3 fillets, 3 bar minimum note. Optional fillets and parallel flush weld, parallel fillet on that. More fillet welds, parallel flush vacancies. Fabrication or repair of pipe railing. See note that typical reinforcement inserted with the flat end. Typical repair in C note 5. Flush weld around the contour of the railing. Well, flush weld in the center of 5.5 of 11 inches, and also 5.5 and 11 inches, and divided by a double fillet weld. Another fillet weld, bracket attachment, railing extension, and attachment, double-sided fillet weld, and a contour. I don't know what that is. These are railing applications, and welcome to Chapter 11. Braking System Safety Standards Freight and Other National Non-Passenger Train Equipment End of the Train Device Part 232.